been a minute, guys. I think it's time for another anti-haul. Hi, y'all. If you are a returning viewer, welcome back. If you are new, welcome. And today I am doing an anti-haul, guys. Although I feel like this one is going to be more of a half anti-haul, maybe a little wish list, maybe a little bit, not a whole lot, but maybe a little bit. Yeah, so let's get into it. I'm gonna grab my phone here. I saved some things, but I also am just scrolling through Trend Mood because there's a few things that I automatically know I want to talk about. So first up, and let me scooch to the side here. Don't mind my squeaky chair. So first up is, and this literally was posted 11 hours ago today. So first up is this new Natasha Denona palette called Pastel. Pastel, kind of like bronze, a bronze palette. This is the Pastel palette. I feel like I've mentioned this before on the channel, but I think I was very like, I don't know if I need that, guys. But now I'm looking at it, I'm very, very intrigued. I don't know. Natasha's one of those brands for me. She's one of those brands where I love her formula. I know I love her formula. I get along with it. It works well for me. She's one of those brands, kind of like Pat McGrath, where I really like kind of automatically want everything as far as like eyeshadow goes. And I have to sort of assess if it's something that I actually need or actually want. But this was leaked, I want to say in maybe end of January, early February, and it was immediately like taken down. But I got a sneak peek at it and I was like, oh, I don't know. I don't think I need that. And then I kind of was thinking about like, I really would love to try her formula in pastels. Pastels are incredibly hard to formulate. I only own one pastel palette, which I enjoy. I don't love it. I like it. I'll put it that way. And I want to see if she can create some pastels that I genuinely love. So I'm actually going to put this one on the wish list side of things. I'm thinking maybe at the end of my no buy this month, I might give this a go. It is not available yet here in the States. It's available in Europe. So if you're in Europe, it is available now. It says on Trend Mood that it's coming soon to US. So yeah. I've got a little more time to ponder it, but I think I've made my decision that I want to give it a go. Next up is this new brand that was sneak peeked from Gwen Stefani called GXVE or Give. I guess that's meant to be Give. It says here in parentheses. I will say this. I was a huge Gwen Stefani fan, and I still like Gwen Stefani, but back in the day, like, I listened to No Doubt. I went to a Gwen Stefani concert. For my birthday, like on my birthday, this was many years ago, dating myself here, but yeah, this is many years ago. So I'm a Gwen Stefani fan. I like her. I mean, I'm not a stan, but I'm a fan. But I remember that MAC collection she did. I think it was MAC. Was it MAC? Or was it Too Faced? It might have been, I think it was MAC. And I just remember how kind of underwhelming it was. Because the thing about Gwen Stefani is, I know like when she's on The Voice and things like that, her makeup is a bit more out there, a bit more experimental, a bit more editorial. But in general, her makeup is pretty basic in the sense that she loves a winged liner. She loves a classic red lip. And so I'm looking at the product shots of what she's releasing. And it's two eyeshadow quads with neutral tones. One is all matte, very light. And then one is very light with what looks like a satiny or sequin style brown, like a brown with some matte with some shimmer in it maybe, and two red lipsticks, one classic blue red and one red orange. And then two liners, a black liner and a blue liner, and an eyebrow. Looks like an eyebrow brush. Okay. That's really how I feel about it. I'm just like, no. No, I feel like in this situation, this is really just buying makeup because of who made it and the name that's attached to it. I have no idea about the quality. I'm not going to speak to that. I'm not going to be like, oh, it's going to be trash. I don't know. It might be really good, but I just feel like where I'm at with my makeup buying and my makeup collection, I don't see any point in spending money on that. Packaging is really cool looking. But yeah, it's a no for me, dog. All right, let's talk about this. And this is already out, but let's talk about this ColourPop Star Wars Darth Vader palette, because I have to say, and I'm not a Star Wars person. I own the Child palette from The Mandalorian. I love The Mandalorian, but outside of The Mandalorian, I couldn't care less about Star Wars, honestly. And I own the Pat McGrath Star Wars collection palettes, but that's because it was Pat McGrath. Y'all, I bought that because it was Pat McGrath, not because it was Star Wars. I'm looking at this color story and it is so pretty. I love the cool tones with the bright metallic red. It's calling my name, but I have all of these shades. Like, I feel like I could dupe this out so easily. And honestly, guys, if you want to see me do a dupe the vibes video, let me know in the comments down below, because I kind of want to try to dupe this palette because I think I could do it. And I think it would be fun. Let me know. Is that something you're interested in seeing? I can always do that on my own time and not film it and just have fun with it. But if you want to see it, I can do it on camera. Let me know. But yeah, I think the color story is really, really cool. I don't necessarily think I need to own that palette because of the fact I feel I can pretty confidently dupe it. If I didn't, I would probably have it on my wish list. Next up is and I believe this is available now. It's been, yeah, I think so, is the, what is this? Is this, yeah, Hindash Monochromance palette. And this is the follow-up to his, I forget what the original one was called, but the one that was all neutrals with the gradient, the ombre shades. And some people are really excited about this palette, and I have to say, guys, I'm just not. And then one of the things that I'm really kind of irked about, and I'm not gonna lie about this, is that when they show the swatches on arms, and I'm first gonna show you guys the photo, they're photoshopped. If you look, and it's not even really good Photoshop, if you look at the arms, it doesn't tell me anything about this palette. It tells me what they want me to think about this palette as far as what the gradient looks like. But I would have loved to have seen them do this in real swatches on arms. That's what I would have liked to have seen. I don't think this is a bad palette. I think it's kind of boring, but I don't think it's I'm not like, oh, it's so ugly. No, I think it's interesting enough, but I think I'm kind of put off by the fact that they didn't take the time to actually swatch the gradients in real swatches so that people could see what they will actually look like in person on skin, because this doesn't tell me anything. It's just, it's Photoshop. So yeah, those are my thoughts on that. I'm not picking that up, and I'm kind of irked by the swatch photos. Next up, we have another celebrity brand, and this is skincare, and this is the Outset from Scarlett Johansson. Why? Probably more than makeup, I find skincare brands from celebrities even more irksome, because celebrities have access to a lot of things that normal, average, everyday people have. And I don't want to say normal, I'm not going to say they're abnormal, but you know what I mean. Like average, everyday people with, average, everyday salaries don't have, So when a celebrity goes, all I'm using are these products here, all I use is olive oil, I find it very insulting to people's intelligence, to my intelligence, as someone who uses skincare and is pretty um, pretty regimented in my skincare routine. I kind of feel like I know how good skin can look if you have a good skincare routine. And their skin is not looking like this just from skincare. They're getting peels, they're getting lasered, they're getting Botox, they're getting all of these services that you will not get from rubbing a cream on your skin. So, and also I just feel like there's these brand incubators are reaching out to these celebs, and they're giving them a lot of money to slap their names on products. And I don't look at this and go, Scarlett Johansson has been developing this for years and she's just really been working hard at it. No, I know for a fact that that's not true, because she was the face of other brands, for years, other luxury brands for years. So I'm just kind of like, no, I'm not interested. And I'm just not the biggest Scarlett Johansson fan as like a person. I love her as Black Widow though, but she irks me. She really does. Come for me in the comments. I'm fine with that. That's just my personal opinion. Let's see. Let's talk about this Byredo palette that is coming out. It's available now. And it says here it is the 18 Colors palette by Flora Kalahari, and it's 96 doll hairs. Byredo has another palette, their first palette, that I believe was 96 doll hairs as well. And I've seen some reviews for it. Some people love the Byredo eyeshadow formula, and others are like, why am I spending $96 on this? And I personally would just go, why am I spending $96 on this? There are things I would love to try, their like smaller palettes, but there has been nothing that I've seen, even in the positive reviews, that would justify for me spending $96 on Byredo eyeshadow palette. And the colors in this palette are pretty, but when I look at the swatches that they have of just the shadows sort of like dragged, I like these type of swatches. But yeah, when I look at that, I literally can think of like 3 to 4 palettes that I own that I could dupe this out with and not spend $96 on. So yeah, no, it's a no. So I guess so far all we have is like one wish list item, guys. I'm feeling good about that. I'm feeling like, okay, yeah, don't want that, don't want that, don't want that, don't want that. All right, let's talk about, let me see. All right, this is on the older side of things. This came out at the beginning of February, but I've been eyeing this palette since I've saw swatches of it on Instagram. And I love when people do eye swatches because it just tells you so much about the shadows and what they'll look like. This is the Glamanatrix Nocturnal palette, and this palette is beautiful. This is something that I would spend money on. Would I say that like, oh, the colors are that unique? No, but I've had my eye on Glamanatrix since they had that palette that they came out with that was the, what's it called? The one that they had that was there, and they're an Australian brand. What was the name of that palette? You Beauty? I think it was You Beauty. And that was a palette that I sort of had my eye on and just kind of got away from me. I never like pulled the trigger on purchasing it, but it still sits in my mind. And I'm like, I want to try some Glamanatrix. So I think at some point I would like, I don't know if this is limited edition. Someone told me it was, and then another person told me it wasn't. I don't know. But it says here it's currently sold out, but it will return. So I'm going to keep my eye out on this one because I think it's so pretty. And the swatches are done by Jackal Frosty. That's her Instagram name. And I chit chat with her occasionally on Instagram, and her makeup is just like next level. So, and she does these amazing swatches. So yeah. All right. Next up is about this in another video, but the Merit Merit just came out with what they call, I think they're calling it the signature lip. And I gotta say, yeah, signature lip. When I saw these, I was like, yes. Now I've gotten some PR from Merit, but I didn't get these in PR. You know, sometimes with brands you only get like some things and not other things, and I'm fine with that. These I'm thinking about, I want to pick up at least a few shades. The shades that I, you know, when I get off my no buy, the shades that are interesting me are Slip, Tiger, and Cabo. I really want to try those. Yeah, so those are definitely on the wish list side of things for me. I want some. I know Collidos came out in February, mid-February, right around Valentine's Day. They came out with their new collection, which is I think it's called the Smoky Nostalgia collection, and it has 2 palettes, and I think it's 2 blushes, and then some new lip clays. Now, I love the shades of their lip clays. I do not enjoy the formula. That type of formula just does not work for me. I find it very patchy or drying. And I feel like moussey textures like that tend to emphasize the lines in my lips. And I have sort of liney lips, so I don't want anything that's going to make them look, you know, wrinkly and gross. But I think it was smart of them to come out with quads that have just like neutral tones, very natural tones that you can do like a really dramatic smoky eye with, because they don't really have anything like that. Most of their, I would say pretty much all of their palettes, with maybe the exception being Sashimi City. But even that is quite light, and it still has very, how do I put it, kind of pinkier tones. But this feels very sort of neutral and basic, not in an insulting way, not like, oh, basic, but I think when brands are really colorful, it's always smart to maybe introduce some neutral tones into the collection, because people who love that formula may want to try some of those shades in the Collidos formula. And the same thing goes for brands that do, you know, mostly neutrals. I think it's always a good idea for them to come out with something that is, you know, colorful and fun and different. Yeah, so having like a basic, you know, selection of shades is smart, I think, especially since they've been around for a while now and they've released a fair amount of palettes and they've all been pretty colorful. I think it's smart. The blushes though, that sanguine shade, stunning. If I were in the market for blushes, I'm not buying any blushes. Well, I won't say that. There's a couple of blushes that are on my what I like to call my back burner wish list that have been there forever. And when I come off my no buy, I might just pick those up. I don't know yet, but I'm not adding any blushes to my wish list. As beautiful as this is, I don't feel like I need them. Next up is the Liss Beauty Triple Fix Brightening Concealer, and this is on my wish list. I immediately saw, I was like, yes, I want this. I want to try this. I want to try it. I like the foundation. I just want to try the concealer. Kind of simple as that. It's out now. It's only 18 bucks. So yeah, I want to try that. I also want to try the Kosas foundation. As you guys know, I have the Kosas concealer, and I was on the fence when I was doing my declutter about whether I wanted it or, you know, wanted to keep it or not, but I said I was going to give it another try. And I've been using it pretty much nonstop, and I've completely fallen in love with it. And I'm wearing it now. I use it pretty much every time I do my makeup now. It's kind of like it's my current go-to concealer. Really enjoying it. So now that has me intrigued about the foundation, and the range looks pretty decent. So I've already kind of scoped out what shade I would buy. So this is definitely on the list. All right, guys, and that is everything for my anti-haul wish list. It turned into more of an anti-haul than I originally thought it was going to, but I did have some things on my wish list. That's just kind of where I'm at now with makeup anyway. I'm just sort of, again, I'm being very discriminating about what I want to spend my money on. And again, there are other things besides the things that are new releases that I have had my eye on for a while. There's a couple of brands that I really want to try and review on the channel for you guys once I'm off of my no-buy. So these lists and these videos aren't just about the only thing that I'm interested in buying or the only things that I'm not interested in buying as well. It's just sort of like the things that are new that have kind of come out and that are kind of like the forefront of my mind. But yeah, are there any things that I talked about today that are on your wish list or that you've purchased? Let me know down in the comments. Also, if you like this video, please be sure to like. And if you are not subscribed, please be sure to subscribe. I am trudging away trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, and I would love your help. I will see you guys in the next one. It's a mirror, and that was just my knuckle cracking randomly. Let's get into an anti-haul, guys. I don't know what's wrong with my openings. Okay.